Let's do it live.
So they always say, just doing a podcast is easy as 1, 2, 3, but here we are. Welcome to Nearing Nirvana. This is episode 123 of Long Story Short. I had to think of some sort of joke.
Bro, we could have 123. There could have been a theme.
There should have been a theme, man. I didn't even think about it until, basically, Aaron just said it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Some Sesame Street shit.
We could do one for 138 and do like a bunch of Misfit covers. Start off with like Chambers of Chill 19, do all the homages. What else? I mean, issue 138.
Now, do you say the H with homage, or do you say
I'm not
homage?
French. I'm not French. I'm not French. So
and I've heard some people say homage, like they're eating a thing of lettuce. Homage,
Yeah.
What is it? Is it homage?
Homage, I think, it is a French word if you're going to say it correctly. But
okay, so how do you say it, Ben?
Huh?
How do you say it? The
homage.
Homage. Oh,
yeah. The H is the H is silent because what in France there's no H.
So don't say it with an H because you sound dumb.
Right? But you some kind of an idiot, man.
What's a homage?
I like my homage.
It's a homage. All right. Sorry.
Well, big shout out to our sponsors over at Cover Price. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And you can use the code over at Bird City Comics, Nerdvana, for a 10% discount.
All right. Well, we got a good show for everyone tonight, so thank you for all for tuning in. And we're gonna get into some comic books. Normal rules apply, although nobody follows them, so I don't know what the fuck we say it for. But buy what you want, I guess. But we're here to help you on your hunt. If you're not hunting for comic books, man, you're missing a big part of the game. It's honestly one of the funnest part. Getting out there digging, and that's what we're trying to do. Raise some awareness on books maybe you can find for cheap. All right.
Yeah. I know Bruce is following that example. He sent us a bunch of pictures of those early Marvel Action Scotty Young books.
Yeah, man, he had a nice score with those, man. He had a nice score. Those are low-hanging fruit still. Like, there's a ton of dealers who don't even give a shit about that kind of stuff. I just found a newsie at a guy who likes to charge like 3x fair value for his books in his dollar bin. So keep looking for those.
Yep.
What's up, Bruce? Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Or we'll end up talking about the books on the Almost 10 because someone paid way too much.
They somehow find their way there. So the other night, what the hell came up, Aaron? You mentioned it on. It was that promo Wolverine that we talked about.
Because we talked about it that day.
I don't know if that sale was the result of. I don't think it was, but I threw that book on there because I was looking at promo comics and I just said this one's cool. But I think it sold. Like, I was working on the slides earlier in the week, and I think that thing ended up selling, before we went live. I don't know for sure, but I don't think it was a result of it. But it was, I was cracking up when it showed up on the show, on the Hot 10.
Because did it show up on the Shaker show too that week?
I don't know if they covered it or not. I don't remember. I watch that show every week, but I don't think so. Because I was laughing when I saw it on the. I don't think it showed up on the Shaker show.
Okay, I saw in the chat that someone said that Cover Price had covered it also. So
I wonder
was
if they
just like,
wrote about it. Sometimes they write, so they do the show and then they post the article. The
mm,
article has some additional books that aren't on the show, but
yeah.
maybe it was. I watched it. If it did, I blacked out on it. I just remembered laughing at it when you guys were talking about it on Friday night.
Yeah. I had just thought about this funny because I was, talking about that, and we literally did that
No, I
week.
just threw it on there because I remember, the Superman promo book with the dog biscuits was going nuts, and I was like, what are some other ones? Then we actually have a promo book on the show tonight, so let's see if it shows up on the Hot 10 tomorrow. So,
All right. Let's start with this.
all right, we'll get into some cool books here. So, did Dino send me this one? I don't know. The Dino may have sent me this book, Weird Science Fantasy Annual. This is an Al Feldstein cover, EC Comics from 1952. A 9.2 of this bad boy sold for $12,000, $12,000, $12,200 in late 2020. So as the comic boom was doing its thing, copies on the census 76, no 9.8s, and that 9.2 was the high grade. This Space Vibe stuff, man, it just never gets old. It never gets old.
Yeah. It's 1952 again.
No, that year keeps popping up, right,
Yeah.
man? 52 and
Yeah.
48. They keep popping up. I don't know what was going on in those 2 years, but it feels like we talk about a lot of books from those years.
Some good stuff in that water.
Yeah.
Here's my question, man. So 25 cents in 1952, right? So this was still back in the 10-cent era. Like, was this cost prohibitive for the average buyer to buy this book at that point, do you think? 1.5 times the cost of a normal comic? Or do they say fuck it?
What did they call that? 2 bits? 25 cents was 2 bits? 2 bits? That'd be 2 bits. You want a soda pop?
So Google is saying in terms of purchasing power, 25 cents in 1952 is worth approximately $4.38 today by using the GDP deflector. And then,
all right, so
this other website is saying 25 cents in 1952 is approximately $2.98 in 2025. So I don't know which one's actually more accurate.
Inflation's been about 3%.
And that's from a mortalization.org.
Yeah, it's not so much like what it's worth in today necessarily versus like, I'm not, I'm not
with the
you can
spending
buy
power.
one for 10 cents. I'm not spending 25 cents. Go back, put that one back, go grab one for 10 cents,
Back when new books were $1, when we were kids, like when the annual would come out, it'd be like, I don't know,
$1.50 or something like that.
$1.50 or $2 or something like that. Like that price didn't faze me. So
yeah, that would piss me off.
This was more of a frugal era, but yeah, I hear you.
That would piss me off because annuals typically didn't really have good stories in them. It was just a bunch of junk. And I go, why is this so much more money and it's shit?
Yeah, it's usually like a reprint. You get like a regular story and then a reprint.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit they accumulated over the course of the year and just shoved in a book to charge you more money for.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is, could you find a quarter laying on the ground in 1952? Kind of like finding a penny, right?
No, man, I don't think so. I think if people saw a quarter, they'd grab that in a second. It's like finding $5. You know what I mean? Like they're grabbing that.
Right. And I feel like shops back then too, right? It was a little bit more easygoing. You could just throw them a quarter, and they wouldn't charge you tax on that. Probably back then.
Yeah. But I was just wondering. Annuals weren't a big thing, obviously, at this point in the comic industry, which is also interesting about this book. Beautiful Al Feldstein. He was obviously famous for the EC horror stuff, but this This retro space cover, man, is I'd love to have one of these. All right.
Is it you or Brian that collects all the Space Girls and the bubble helmet? Or is it
I have a huge box of them, but I'm not the only one, so I don't want to. I mean, I'm sure Brian does. I know Kreider collects them too, amongst, in addition to countless others. So
132 pages. So is this more like Pulp size, Pulp magazine size?
I mean, that's a lot of book,
Yeah.
It's a lot of book. All right. What do we have next on the show? I saw this book sell. We're not really covering recent sales, but I saw this book sell this week, and it just kind of, reminded me that, Golden Age, there's still a lot of low-hanging fruit. So this is Baffling Mysteries. Lou Cameron and Ken Rice are credited with doing the art. Neither one of them specifically with the cover. Ace Comics from 1954. A 6.5 of this book sold for this month for $336. Only 25 on the census. This cover is pretty wicked. Like, that just seems
cheap, man.
Cheap, right? I mean,
yeah. I love the yellow book with the red trade.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, totally.
it just, and the art on this particular book is really cool, man.
I know somebody who has this.
No shit. Graded or raw?
I think it's raw, and because because they sell comics, and I see this book all the time on their back wall at conventions when they sell
the same one, or like with different copies of it.
Just the same book. And
what are they asking? Do you know?
Like around, I want to say like 300 ish.
Okay.
In that area, like 300 to 400 in that area.
So what Longshort's really asking you is to send him pictures next time you see it.
I'll probably see him this weekend. So,
I'm just saying 336 for a 6.5 from 1954 of a book that's not super high census. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the worst deal ever.
Hey, since it's raw, you might be able to get a 9.9 out of it. I'm just joking.
You never know.
Could you imagine like CGC grading a book from 54 into a 9.9 or 10? Like how many brains would explode if we saw that?
How many collections like that are out there? Raw.
That was 0. Unless you have unless you end up with like the Promise Collection, like part 5 or whatever. Part 2.
I can't, outside of like a file copy, maybe, like I can't imagine a scenario where a book like this would get that high of a grade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, never. Unless it came from a museum, maybe, or something like that.
Or it was stored and packed up, and just in the same way the Edgar Church collection, the proper temperature, in a dark room, and stored like inverted, the way they inverted the comics back and forth. I mean, it's possible. You never know.
I mean, if it hasn't been discovered yet, it seems shocking, but yeah, I hear you, man. All right, let's keep moving. I really like these Fight Against Crime books, and they seem pretty reasonable most of the time when they pop up, but it's always like a girl knocking off her man.
Mm-hmm.
So this is by Goldfarb and Alexander, and once again another cover that wasn't credited to the artist, but they did the art. They were credited to the art internally. Story Comics 1953. An 8.0 of this sold for $2,640 back in 2022, which seems pretty reasonable to me, considering that's the high grade, and there's only 28 of these on the census. There's a pretty famous cover from this series. I believe it's the one where like he's cut off her head and he's jamming her down the manhole. But there's a lot of other sweet ones that seem to go for attractive prices. But yeah, she let this dude have it and throwing him in the river.
Is that what you're supposed to do? Are you supposed to throw the body first or the rock first?
Just get them both in. I don't know. She looks like she's about to follow him here, though, in a second.
Yeah, but hopefully she can swim.
Is she throwing the guy over and then the other guy is throwing her over?
That's what it looks like. Yeah, man. She threw him, the other one, her husband in, or whoever that dude was, her boyfriend, and she's about to follow him by this other dude.
Oh no, here it is. I can read the text. You can join your boyfriend, sister. It says we's dead. Or is it supposed to be he's dead?
Oh, he's dead, and now
I'm free.
I mean, I don't know what these guys are putting these poor girls through back in the 50s, but damn, man, like,
what kind of talk is that? He's like, you're gonna join him, sister. What? What was this in 53?
In the age of everything being digital, something about these books are so refreshing to me.
So she's killing her brother, and he toss.
I think that's her. I think that's her boyfriend, man.
That's her boyfriend that's dead in the lake.
Yeah,
and then
her brother
her
trying to kill her because he was having an affair with the other guy. You killed my boyfriend, bro. Bro.
So you're saying the boyfriend was in an affair with the brother?
Yeah.
Oh, and so that's why he's
taking... why else was he going to push her in there?
I don't know. I mean, that's
I guess I'll have to read the story and find out.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right. I think we have one more from this series on here. Yeah, similar situation, man. So, Fight Against Crime, number 16. This is a Dick Beck cover. Story Comics, 1953. A 5.5 of this sold in August for $336, 43 in the census. High grade an 8.0, and she's lighting this dude up. And she's also trying to get free from this guy, right? And then she's going to get fucking whacked again like the other girl.
I noticed a lot of dead people on these covers are green.
Yeah.
It's
gangrene setting in.
Yeah. See how Gen X used to be. Question. Oh, someone was asking about the red dress. So I guess this is early into tuning onto our group of YouTube.
I think it's just I mean, the red dress is a golden age trope, but it's just an eye-catching image on the cover. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it just
but just think about like how many honorable mention covers were the girl in the red dress was always in trouble. That's all it was. Yeah. That's what I always think of.
Yeah, just pointing these out. I mean, these are all reasonably priced books as far as I'm concerned, and worth probably worth grabbing at these prices because you know there's not that many of them to go around, and I don't know. I just feel like the hobby is slowly moving in this direction, so we'll see. All right, what do we got next? All right, I just want to throw this on here because, you don't associate this kind of vibe with Marvel typically. But this is Strange Tales number 8, a cool Bill Everett cover from Atlas Marvel 1952. Once again, like $216. Like you can drop $216 on a lot of things, but for a 3.0, this is a recent sale. Seems like not the worst way to spend some money. 60 on the census, none a 9.8 with a high grade of 9.2.
So what you're telling me is eBay is not the place to sell pre-code horror?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, man, I was looking at eBay today. There are so many books from modern to whatever era selling for dirt cheap shit that's popping up on there you haven't seen in years. Like people are dumping, people are need some money, man. They're dumping shit left and right. So if you can, and there's stuff you've been looking for, now that seems to be maybe, a great time to buy.
So what you're telling me is you're going to send me a couple books for Buy the Dip tomorrow.
I can send you a lot, man.
Sweet.
I can send you a lot if that's if you ever need any. But yeah, I don't know. Something about this one I like. Once again, the red dress, front and center, as we generally see. Can you guys read what she's saying on there? I can't see it.
So who are you digging that for?
Oh yeah.
Who do you think?
Who you think, bitch?
You're about to go in there, baby. Yeah, beautiful Bill Everett. But all right. Next, I love, honestly, like I love these, Tessie the typist and Nellie the nurse and Millie the model books from this era. Tessie the typist, number 15, Timely Comics, 1948. There's that year again. This cover went uncredited. A 3.0 sold a couple years ago for $150 for a book with only 5 on the census. High grade and 8.0, and I think basically she's talking about the lines of the car, how sleek they are, and the dude is getting called up by his wife, letting her know that she's talking with the car, not herself.
Tessie. Now that's a name you don't see every day.
Tessie was a song in Boston for the Red Sox, and the Dropkick Murphys brought it back the year they won the World Series and broke the curse in 2004.
It didn't go like Tessie's girl. Okay.
No, but it was like an old barbershop song, and they tried to recreate it as a punk version, but they had to take a lot of liberties to make it work.
I mean, I love Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah,
it's always a good show. Yeah, it's always a good show. And I like all the promo stuff they're doing with the Red Sox right now. Yeah,
they're huge Red Sox fans, but they created that song They recreated that song to try to break the curse, and looks like it worked. So they might have to do it again because the Sox are terrible. But I don't know. I've got a soft spot for these books, for these books, to be honest with you.
See, I always thought it was Justin Long and Drew Barrymore that broke the curse.
No, you're thinking of
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Was it Jimmy Fallon? I thought it was Justin
it was Fallon. It was Fallon, yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of look alike.
I know.
They're probably like, yeah. They're probably like uncle and nephew or something like that. They're probably related somehow. Because, yeah.
We're all related, bro. In some way or another.
Alrighty.
All right, Carter. This one was yours.
Yes. Blue Book magazine. So this is a pulp from 1939. Blue Book number 69. August 1939.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, this is a cool ass cover. I forget.
Bro, that looks like Jenny Frizen, man.
Yeah,
I was going to say, man, this book was so far ahead of its time. I mean, when you sent me this initially, I thought this was a modern.
Yeah, especially with the title, Blue Book.
That's
too.
Crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a badass book, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't Tinian writing something called Blue Book right now, where it's about aliens, or he did write something?
I don't know. I can't keep track of all of his shit. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, we were just talking about Tinian titles right before the show, so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I made it a point to try to find this copy, like find this book on eBay, and I couldn't. But now it's in my now it's on my want list.
Yeah, big time, man. I would love to find this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about it looking
Frizen?
like Frizen, yeah.
I just want to see what the first. Go ahead.
The art looks so out of time. It almost looks like someone came back from the present to create this book in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, this is the coloring being this dark I mean, the style. This just does not feel like a book from 1939 at all.
I want to see what the first 68 volumes look like for this title.
I think this title goes back like a long ways.
I mean,
it
this
went
is
way
volume
back
69.
before that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Probably
only
platinum.
like 4 or 5 issues per year, so it's not like there's 12. But
I would assume still that it's a pretty thick book, like where it's like 100-page book or whatever, since it's a pulp, right?
Oh shoot! No, this goes back to 1905.
Oh shit! So like platinum age, or is that before platinum age?
that's like fucking before we were naming the ages.
Right.
Yeah, because what is platinum age? It's like 1910 to 20. Is that right?
No, I think it's like the 20s to the 30s, right up to golden.
You know what? I would say like probably late 1800s. That's what I'm thinking.
Just anything that's before golden age.
Anything before
basically.
golden is platinum.
Yeah.
Probably just because it's like most of the stuff is throwaway, right?
Oh, 1897 to 38.
Because this technically isn't even platinum then, as old as it is. Yeah, as Derek says, the Stone Age.
The Stone Age. The invention of paper age.
1897 to 1938. Wow. All right. So this is golden by definition.
Mm-hmm.
But the first 68 volumes fall in that.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool
All
find.
right. Getting a little bit more modern. I was looking at some Dan Brereton covers last week, and this book is a cool one to find if you see it out there. All of his nocturnal stuff is really cool, and actually, coincidentally, it's coming back later this year. He's bringing Nocturnals back, but this was a glow-in-the-dark variant, which was rare for the time. This is from Malibu in 1995. Of the difference is it's really just that Nocturnals that glows in the dark up there. The other trade dress for the regular one is sort of looks like his name, kind of like orangish like that. But this glow in the dark variant is definitely one worth grabbing if you can find it in high grade and totally slabbing it.
So is it glow in the dark where you have to like put it to the sun and then put it in the darkness?
Stick it up in the light for 5 minutes, then take it in the closet, and you can stare at it for 2 minutes before it fades out.
Or can you just like put like a black light to it and it does the trick?
I think black light probably do the trick. Yeah.
What's this go for in a 9.8?
There's been no recent sales of this thing. People ask around $70 to $100 raw.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But that's not grade specific on this. I don't know what the grade.
Yeah, there's only one on the census and it's never sold. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could basically ask what you want, right? For 9.8.
He strikes me as one of those artists where his art could catch fire at some point. People appreciating what he's done. His painted style is really quite cool.
Yeah, this is the guy that did those Thrill Killer Batman.
Yeah, well, he also did that. Yeah, he did that Captain America 1 in 25 or 1 in 50 that we've talked about a lot with the red skull on it.
Yeah.
That ratio, that's super tough. I was talking to him at a show recently. He was a pretty cool guy.
So Derek, would you call it the Marie Curie like covers? Just joking. No. All right.
Yeah, this is just a fun one to get. They're out there, condition sensitive, but yeah. And if you like this vibe, like this, there's a number of different Nocturnals series out there that he's done and they're all badass Halloween style covers. So. And keep an eye open for his new book. I think it comes out in like September. So
sweet.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of glow in the dark covers, it's a 2-for-1 deal tonight here on Long Story Short. This is a very, this is one of those Lady Death books that, you'll really never, ever find. But this is Le Muerta and Lady Death Inferno #1 by the awesome puppeteer Lee. This glow-in-the-dark edition was only limited to 15 copies. No real sales data on this one. There is another version of this that isn't glow-in-the-dark, but that wasn't super heavily printed either. But that's a bit more accessible. But if you look for this, what you usually find is just prints. Like the books themselves are kind of gone.
Was this like a Kickstarter thing?
I think it was one of his Kickstarter books. Yes. Yeah, one of them.
I feel like Tony was ahead on this.
He may have been. I mean, this sounds like a book that Tony would talk about. Funhouse Comics, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, but not necessary. But thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah,
but this is a great looking book. I mean, if you find one of these that glows in the dark, congratulations, because that's a damn ghost for sure. I mean, there's so many Lady Death books that fall into these categories, but the ones that are done by collectible artists should always have legs. The problem is it falls into that Dennis saying that are the book's so rare it's worthless because it doesn't ever sell and nobody can ever put a price on it. But
every time you say it, I have to send Dennis a check.
Yeah, write him
I'm just joking. But what Will Miranda is saying, that La Muerta translates to the dead female. So you're saying this title is redundant, meaning the dead female, Lady Death?
Yeah, man. Lady Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful book. Puppeteer Lee is a real talent. All right. Next, sticking with the Lady Death theme, I saw this one when looking at the other one. I don't remember ever seeing this book before, but I do like Frank Cho, so I just threw it on the show. And yes, we rhyme all the time on this show. This is a holofoil edition, limited to 90, so a bit more accessible. But yeah. Brian Polito, he puts out some collectible stuff. So
I do like when they open up their vault every so often.
Every once in a while, they'll leak something cool out.
Yeah, I never know what I'm looking for whenever they do that, and I'm like, well, maybe I just go buy most expensive.
Yeah, I mean, for me with the Lady Death stuff, it's really the artists that I like, right? That I generally seek out. There's so much of it, and I think so much of it probably has very little to no value, because he does a lot of stuff from artists that I think a lot of people don't know, but some of it catches on. Like he did a call we covered very early on, one of his tougher books to find. Like some of these things catch legs over time. So I would say if you're looking at Lady Death books and you find something that's limited and it's by an artist that you know or like, maybe those aren't worth picking up. But don't grab them all, because so many of them I don't think people give a shit about. And that's not a knock on what Brian's doing, but
right. Lady Death is not Pokemon. Got it.
You don't need to catch them all. You don't need to catch them all. All right. All right. This book was recommended by our boy Tony. Tony, I don't know if you're in the chat, buddy, but if you are, much love. Thank you. This is Dynamite Lives #4. This was an exclusive by 616. Franny did the art. She has a vibe that's somewhere between Bartel and Frizen for me. You just kind of put them together, you kind of get Franny.
Yeah.
And this was limited. This gold variant, so the gold is on her chainmail there, is limited to 350. There's another version of this that isn't gold that I think was limited to 500. But this is pretty cool.
Is she missing some organs?
I don't know, man. You tell me.
I'm not a doctor.
She's like short some intestines or something, man. I don't know.
That came out funny. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure what I'm looking at.
Right?
It's like she got shot by arrows and she's getting an x-ray to see if there's internal bleeding, and then they're going to go deal with it from there.
But did somebody hit her in the intestines? Like,
Looks like she took one to the...
ow, I can't take a shit. Stop that.
You guys remember the 70s toy? The God, I don't remember.
I know which one you're talking about, bro.
You know.
Yeah.
The one where you could like put all the body parts in?
Yeah, he's like translucent and you can see like the insides.
Yeah, that was that Fantastic Four cover with Sue Storm. I think it was based on that toy. Where she's standing there and you can see all of her insides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the guy was purple.
How many future surgeons got to play with that? Purple? Or how many surgeons now played with that as a kid? Probably most of them, right? I would imagine.
I mean, you would think there's probably some correlation between that, right? People like playing with body parts and getting in there for real.
Or they either work for a morgue or,
serial killer.
Or a serial killer.
Yeah, this is a great looking cover. Franny is starting to pop up more and more, but yeah, I genuinely believe her vibe is mixing Bartel and Frizen, and you kind of get Franny.
How does
Franny, which is not a bad combination.
Yeah, is Franny cute?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You want to do some research on that and
deep dive?
Are we taking a rabbit hole? And
rabbit hole.
Am I going to Instagram and seeing if I can find a picture of Franny?
I'm doing a Google search and I'm not seeing like her actual face.
Is she just Franny? Is that her?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I'm sure she's got another name, but she's credited as Franny most of the time.
Let's see if she has any pictures of herself on here. It doesn't. Oh, wait. Here we go.
Would you smash or pass? Pass.
Oh, it's only one N, so I screwed that up. So
I'm assuming this is the same artist, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
With the style. I would assume so. There was a bunch of people that follows her that like Hive and all them. Yeah. Oh, I'm following her too. I knew that. I've known about her forever. See? No, I'm joking.
Yeah. What makes you think I didn't know that? I knew that.
I didn't. For whatever reason, I didn't think she'd be Asian.
I think I knew that.
I didn't, but she's had a lot of work. She's done a lot of work, man. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we solved that riddle, let's go solve.
Every time there's a female artist, I'm like, how's she look?
Right. She ain't no Jenny Friesen.
All right. So this was a book that got hot during the boom years that I expected to kind of remain a thing because it's just really well done. So this is Marvel number 6.
Yeah.
This is an awesome Libramejo cover. 9/8 sold for $170, which is respectable. Like, don't get me wrong. And I guess it's not that rare with 348 in the census, 265 and 9.8. But I just felt that this book would have done a little bit more because it's pretty freaking sweet.
Damn it. I swear I had this because I saw so I was at the store and it was on the new comic rack, but they had it priced at a regular comic.
Nice.
I could have swore, and then I like sold it immediately.
Well,
I mean,
I'm pretty
it
sure
was
raw
hot.
copies back then were going for like $150,
Mhm.
if not
Yeah,
more.
it spiked hard when it came out. It spiked hard. I just figured. I mean, everything settles after the initial spike. I just figured this would have had a little bit better legs to it. I mean, people love Silver Surfer, and this is a really cool looking book.
But this is also during that time period where you could just sell raw books instead of even grading them.
Yeah, I mean, this was the insane period for sure.
Yeah, because by the time you did get books back from grading, because that was a slow time period of grading too, where it took like half a year to a year to get back books. By the time you got the books back, they were only selling for what you could have gotten for them raw.
Yeah,
so you just lost. Yeah, so you just lost like $60 or whatever you paid to get that one book graded, and all right, let's go lower, like $40, right? But then you're now just making what at best $300 when you could have sold the book raw for $300.
Yeah, totally, man.
Like
that was
6 months ago.
Yeah, that was the crazy period. What I do like the touch in here is where the reflection of the Marvel is in the surfboard.
Yeah,
for the E and the L. I assume that's what's going on, or are you meant to be looking through it? I don't know, but I thought it was the reflection. I thought it was a nice touch.
It's got Terminator vibes, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Totally.
But this was a hot time for Lee Bermejo too, as well, because wasn't this like right around the time Batman Damned exploded?
Batman Damned, that's the Batwang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was before this.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, like he's still riding off that high of
that elevated him for sure. Yeah.
I remember I got a 10.0, man, on the PP book.
Did you really, man?
Yep.
You got a 10-incher?
Yeah, I got a 10. I got a 10.
Yeah, anyways. All right. Back to some more promo books. If this shows up on the Hot 10 tomorrow, I haven't seen this sell in a while. So Captain America, the First Avenger. This was a promo by Norton and Semantic. This is a mini comic. It's 3D. There's only 7 on the census, none of them 9.8. And you got this by buying some virus software.
That's nuts.
And Norton's the guy that did all those murders, right?
Oh crap, man!
He's the guy that went to the Cayman Islands or whatever.
No, that's McAfee, isn't it?
Is that McAfee?
Yes.
Yeah, McAfee. I was gonna say, like, if there was 2 guys in the antiviral software that went nuts, like there's a bigger problem going on. That was I'm pretty sure that was McAfee who was
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing a documentary on that.
Yeah. My bad.
He literally said he wasn't suicidal, and then he turns up dead. He was
revealing all sorts of secrets that I don't think people were happy about. Yeah, and then he wakes up dead. So
yep.
But yeah, some of these promo comics, man, they're no joke. Like, they're definitely worth grabbing. I think, a lot of dealers don't take this kind of shit seriously, so you can find this shit. You can find this kind of stuff digging.
Mm-hmm.
So what Long Short is saying, if you stumble upon somewhere that's handing out free promo comics, take a pile of them, hold on to them.
It'd be that guy. Just take them all and make
a so. Like push over kids for them. Do it all.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past Norton to be on some bullshit either. Be on some bullshit too.
What do you mean? The dude who started that doing some bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but these guys selling virus software, maybe the same guys creating the viruses. So
yeah.
I was gonna say, do you know how they hire most of their engineers?
The guys who hack shit?
Yeah, absolutely. They find the people that hack shit, so they can they hire them to
just like Vegas, man. They hire cheaters to run their security. They get the best cheaters, so it takes game to spot game.
Yeah. the security world is exactly like that. They'll call it. I mean, I'm in the weird position because I work a lot with security teams, but at the same time, our team likes to make fun of their team, and then they're really just glorified hackers, ethical hackers. I'll give them that title. But who knows what they do on their free time? Just saying.
Yeah. So, anyways, as a rule of thumb, for me, I always grab any promo book I see, particularly from this era, and when they're cheap. So you never know which ones are going to turn into something.
Yeah, I found a couple of them, Ben, like from. Is everybody okay?
Somebody's lighting fireworks outside my window.
No, from Honda Jeep or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it's a Avengers one, and there was another one from another car thing, and I was man, this is so fun. An Iron Man one.
Wasn't there a Wasn't there a Walking Dead promo book from Hyundai?
I thought it was Volkswagen.
Yeah, there was some promo book for Walking Dead. I mean, we could do a whole show on these books and still have more to talk about. Maybe we do. I mean,
that was an expensive comic though, because you had to buy a car, right?
Shoot, yeah.
That was like the comics worth 16 grand.
Right. I got it for ratio.
It's like I bought the car. It came with this comic. Awesome.
It was only in the glove compartments of the black ones. Some bullshit like that.
I mean, wasn't that the thing with the comic? Like, you couldn't just like test drive the car. Like, you actually had to buy the car before you got the comic, right? Or
yeah.
You want to read this book, man? You got to buy the goddamn car. Come on.
But I mean, it was the anniversary to the issue 1, right, or something like that.
Yeah, that was when like Walking Dead was super hot. So I can't imagine somebody not buying a book just because it had the.
Listen, honey, I need the whole collection. I'm sorry, we're buying the car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a Hyundai. Well, we're getting one.
I saw someone selling it like I want to say it was like Torpedo selling it back in the day, like when they used to do all their Instagram live videos, but they wanted way too much for it. For the promo Walking Dead book, like 500 raw, something like that. But then you could see like obvious like color breaks, even like on a cell phone camera or whatever. So it's like kind of like, is it worth that to buy it just because of the rarity?
I mean, sometimes yes, but there's always a limit.
The Walking Dead comic came with the emergency kit in the Hyundai SUV.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
You got an emergency, you need a comic to read, we got it for you. Crack it open.
Yeah. In case of zombie apocalypse, break this comic out.
Yeah, man. Give you some tips how to survive. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I got my bug out comic.
I wonder if you could just buy the emergency kits like on eBay or something like that and end up with one.
Or just go to somebody who bought the car who didn't give a shit about the comic. Can I buy this emergency kit from you?
Start looking in junkyards for those totaled cars. Dude, that would be a find. If someone actually does that,
would be like the greatest comic find ever. If you were,
if someone does that from watching the show, like let us know.
Yeah, man.
I will be impressed. Or right. I'm just giving y'all new ideas to start digging for.
Yeah, man. Go dig for comics wherever you can find them, man.
Yeah.
All right. This is an obscurity.
That is super cool, man.
So this is Marvel Comics to the rescue. Ironically, this was not published by Marvel Comics. It was published by Super Agency in 1974. And it was basically a pamphlet that Stan Lee was giving out to promote a college tour that he was speaking on in the mid 70s. But I couldn't find any recent sales on this or any graded information. But this thing is really it looks like it's pretty tough to get, but something that would be kind of cool to have.
Yeah. Okay. So if you think about it, so like the kids that grew up reading the early Marvel age books, they're in college by 1974.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
they'd be into this.
Big time. But this was also a pamphlet. It probably wasn't the kind of thing people thought to save, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You grabbed it on the way in. I don't know what was inside of it. Maybe it was just like the itinerary or something, and then they checked it. But not a ton of information about this out there. But damn cool. I would like to have something like this.
Yes.
Have you seen this before, Carter?
Absolutely not.
Wait, they weren't handing them out at your college?
I definitely would have told you about it if I had seen this before.
They weren't handing them out when you were in college?
We're not that old, man.
You talking slick. I think I was in 21 years after this.
I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to say I wasn't even born yet when this thing came out. So it was coming up, but I wasn't there yet. So. All right. This was submitted by a viewer of the show. So Trophy Comics on IG said he loved this book. And I said, yeah, man, it's damn cool. This is Clayman. We've talked about Clayman on the show many times. Talented artist who maybe hooked his cart to the wrong horse.
Yes. As far as boring writers.
Yes. DC Comics from 2014. This was just an open order, cover A. A 9/8 sold in 2021 for $31. So basically the cost of grading. Not a book people are necessarily slabbing because there's nothing necessarily noteworthy to it other than it's a pretty good looking book. But 4 of them are 9.8. But yeah, great looking book, man.
I appreciate girl on girl bondage.
You got a skull there. It's got a lot going for it. So
honestly, this ain't too dissimilar to the Batgirl cover that got canceled.
Oh, the
Killing
Joke.
Yeah. It's kind of honestly, it's kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, man, that's a great point. Yeah. It's got the same vibes.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I thought was like, oh man, I still want one of those bootleg.
I had a couple.
You had a couple? Why did you look it up?
Yeah, I think Josh bought one for his girl on but I was on Whatnot, but it was done from my buddy who used to.
Yeah, you had that. It was like a commission, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he got pissed off that I was selling it, and he's not my friend anymore.
Well, there was someone that made a bunch of bootleg copies, like where it was actually printed.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a bootleg like that. I had a straight up like commissioned. Yeah.
No, there was someone that had bootleg copies floating around like that, and
like a straight up rip off of Albuquerque. The Albuquerque.
Yeah, the Albuquerque. So
they just make a fake cover and they put it on the book.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so someone was making that and distributing it, and then DC did like cease and desist on it.
Wow.
Because I was in a Facebook group where someone was about to start selling them, and then that letter happened. But then the reason why was because the first couple of people that got them started trying to submit it to CGC for them to grade. Okay. And then so that's how it was discovered.
Somebody always fucks it up.
I know, right?
I mean, but why would you even want that graded out there like that? Like,
yeah, man,
I mean, it's bad enough that someone's trying to sell it on Facebook, right? As a
okay, so that book, if it was let out, the Albuquerque, right?
Yeah.
and it's slabbed in a 9.8. What is it? And let's say it's a 1 in 50, okay, which it was going to be, right? A 1 in 50.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was going to be open order. I thought it was 1 in 50. What would that book be going for right now?
I mean, it depends if it had the buzz around it, right? Part of that book sort of being as desired as it is because it got banned, basically. But it should still be a good selling book, right? But I don't know if it's necessarily without that heat around it, if it's trading at crazy prices or just respectable prices.
No, but to me, that felt like that was going to be an evergreen book, the same way as the Adam Hughes Catwoman, like a G.I.
Oh,
Joe
like
#1.
like Tech
It was,
Tech
yeah,
80.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it was gonna be one of those iconic like DC modern
right,
books.
right.
I mean, if it was a ratio and all that, I mean,
Well, I could
guess
say it'd be a
just
$500 book today,
Yeah.
which is no slouch.
That's
I'm
fair.
just saying let's just say a couple of those got released, like legit copies of those got released. You're talking about a $2,000 book, maybe more.
but yeah, I mean, it really just depends on how many people were ordering Batgirl back then too, right?
That's true. But I remember when they it
They
was
had
on
prelims.
previews, right? It was on previews or something like that. And then I got excited about it, and then boom, it got canceled. So
Who the hell got worked up over it enough to get it canceled?
I don't know, man.
Man.
Yeah, I honestly I've seen racier books than that. And
Yeah, man, for sure.
but I think that the whole
because it was the whole Me Too movement was going on during that time period too, right? And then
So it's Harvey Weinstein's fault, is what you're saying, Aaron.
yeah, basically.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense.
Well, I mean, but it's also alluding to the whole grape stuff. So,
Yeah, the grape.
Yeah. Going back to James' question is like, what was the first promo comic? Man, they go way back. We talked about this book. I don't know if it's in the same category. It's not necessarily like a sponsor, but this is Tough to Be Free. This was a message about sniffing for young people. It was about glue sniffing. Like that was technically a promo comic. So I don't know, like
obviously they didn't listen to the Ramones, whoever wrote that book.
I've got some crazy books like that, Ben. I've got like Lassie. It was a small little book like that, and then Radio Shack and some other electronics.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going back for. I mean, I can just envision like Kool-Aid and Hubba Bubba and like all of this.
Oh, remember when Kool-Aid had the free packet of Kool-Aid inside the comic and Kool-Aid comics?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So there's that.
They had Kool-Aids inside Spider-Man books.
I'll cash up someone that has that comic that drinks the Kool-Aid and makes a video out of it. I'm just joking.
And tell us what you see in your hallucination.
Tell us what flavors you taste.
Yeah. All right, Carter. This one was yours, man.
So this is Vortex 6, and this is from this is from the early 80s, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
Good ass
Lord.
shot.
Good Lord.
Yeah, this
book, I was surprised, man. There were no graded copies of this book. Like the issues 1 and 2 had graded copies, but nobody decided to slap this one.
Yeah, this book doesn't go for anything. This is a $1 book all day, every day. But
I have a question real quick to Real Fake Comics. So when you chewed this gum, did it crack your tooth, or is that why it was a big mistake? Okay. Sorry.
I think the kids nowadays call this cake, right?
That's cake.
Yes. House of Cake.
Cake. Call it Mama.
Yeah. This is precisely the kind of book I grab out of dollar bins for no other reason, just to have it. You know what I mean? Like, but
you're not buying it for the full moon.
Well, I mean, that's a collectible category for sure.
Cake and guns.
That'd be a good title for a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Cake and guns. There you go. Let's start it up, Carter. First comment. Cake and guns.
All right, let's keep the
Hell
show.
yeah.
All right.
I remember this.
I don't think we ever talked about this one, but this is Uncanny X Force number 35, the
Bro,
final issue.
I sent you this 2 years ago.
Did we have it on the show?
No.
We forgot, dude.
You're just now coming around to it 2 years later.
Yeah,
I
Ben,
go through, I'm like,
still
fuck,
got
I
a
missed
bunch
this
of
one, I
my
missed this one.
submissions, man.
Oh shit! Sorry, man.
That's all you need to do is start scrolling up in old messages from Carter.
Hell
Dude,
yeah, man. I sent Ben a shitload, man.
Dude, if I'm not like pulling them like when I'm working on it, I forget I get hit with so much shit. Just remind me, like, dude, where's this fucking book? Yeah, so this is the final issue of the series, but they dropped the 1 in 50 on the final issue.
Yes.
And
makes it even tougher.
it's not an easy book to come by. Only 19 on the census, 13 and 9.8. We should have been talking about this book 2 years ago for you guys to have.
That's a legitimate ghost book, bro.
Time to hunt it for it, but last sale for 9.8 was beginning of 2022, so over 3 years ago, for $265.
Okay, so this is also the first appearance of Phantom X's sister. I forget her name, but yeah, but it does have a first appearance in it.
So that adds to it. Awesome.
Yes.
I mean, besides also being like Mel's favorite artist, Simon Bianchi.
Yeah, but because this was like when I bought this book, this was during that, the spec time when like any character was up for grabs.
Yeah, man.
And so,
it was a rumor to be in the next whatever MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have your copy of this
comic? Oh yeah. Because dude, I had been after that book for years. So,
and when you finally found it, you're just like kissing the ground.
Yes, it was mine. Yeah, every copy that I saw that was available, they wanted like $200, 100, probably around 100 at the time. And I found it in a lot for like 40. So I'm like, okay,
nice.
Sweet.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rare to see a 1 in 50 on the final issue of a run,
Mm-hmm.
That's Carter ever given. I don't think I've ever seen Carter angry.
I swung and missed that. I mean, I think, did you send me the book, the Pulp, last week? Because I remember I was checking some message. I'm like, shit, I fucking forgot about it.
I don't think. Okay. Nothing comes to mind.
All right. Because that blue book, I thought it was.
I just sent it to you that Sunday.
Oh, that's
this Sunday. Yep.
Anyways, all right. What do we got next? All right. This is Liger. You're in the chat, bro, man. This one is for you. Mel V. This is another Liger hit me up with this one, and I forgot about it. And then Mel's like, "Come on, man, the people have spoken." So, Profane number 5. We've spoken about issue number 3. That was the Suspiria one, and we spoke about issue number 4 or number 2. Number 2, that was the Karen Darbo, which was pretty cool. And then there's this one, True Ghost, Angela Wu 1 in 20 variant. So ghostly, there's not much sales information about this book out there.
Dope looking cover.
Oh, really good looking cover, man. Angela Wu is talented, to say the least. Yeah, this thing is gone, Liger. I poked around looking for this for a little bit, man. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But a great looking book. I mean, all of the variants, they were all different artists on this series, were all really good. The Darbo, she's doing a Gwenpool cover. She's from Italy. I was talking with her last week. She's pretty cool. She offered me the OA for the Gwenpool cover. She wants like $2,000 for it. And I'm like, damn, it's so good, but like that's a big ticket. And it's on. The reason I think I passed is that, you know, I thought it was going to be on like what do they do, like a 11 by 17 is usually what they draw on. Yeah. It's on like an A4, which is basically 8.5 by 11 for European standards.
That's what my prison is on, is 8.5 by 11.
It's amazing that they're doing covers on that size. You know what I mean? Like you'd think that they would need more detail. But yeah, so
I feel like scanners and like if they're gonna do a digital treatment to it already, you know, trying to scan something in that's 11 by 17 can be, I feel like, kind of hard.
Yeah, maybe they don't want them on that size anymore. Maybe it's just too unruly or something. I don't know, but that's what they used to do it on back in the day, like the full comic book size boards where they did the pages and stuff on. That's what I was expecting when I was talking to her about it, and I'm like, oh. That's small.
Well, when I got my original Peach art, I was expecting to be 11 by 17 as well. That ended up being 11 by 15, which I thought was a weird size.
That's not that bad. That's not big. You know, not a huge difference.
But. And then I found out in Japan, that's like a common size for them to scale to for whatever reason.
I find it funny that all around the world we're all working on different sizes of paper. Like we haven't all just agreed, okay, let's use this size, but I guess it makes sense. Anyway.
I feel like it was more standard, like throughout the 80s and 90s, just because of the way printing was back then. And then I feel like technology now has kind of really, the digital art scene really changed that.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything's become so digital, but anyways, this is awesome, Liger Bro. Thank you for recommending this. And like I said, if anybody hits me up with something, just like hit me up. When I'm trying to finalize this stuff, it's like on, you know, Wednesday and Thursday. Hit me then. It's when I'm more dialed in. Otherwise, I'm not. Unless I pulled some stuff together over the week, I'm not thinking about it as much. So if you hit me, just, you know, let me hit me on like Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'll be able to.
It's likely to get on the show then. If you hit us up right after the show.
Yeah, then I'm going to remember that, and then I fucking forget about it. That's probably what happened with the X-Force.
People do that to me all the time. So yeah, and then I forget about it because I get, you know, I didn't.
It's like, all right, I'll come back to that in 4 days, and then you forgot about it at that point. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Is there anything left? Yeah, there's got to be at least one book left in there.
There's after this book, there's 2 more.
All right, cool. You know, it's another book I've totally spaced on. You know, you guys may remember it, but this was from the G.I. Joe series that just came out. There were 74 goddamn covers for this book, and this was the Finch sketch cover. I don't remember seeing this thing. And for 1 in 500 for a book with 75 fucking covers, it's hard to find. You would think that, you know, 1 in 500 would be pretty plentiful, but it's not. It absolutely not.
So you tried looking for it on eBay and nothing?
So there's a couple. I think my comic shop has 2 copies in like a 9.0 or a 9.2 listed for like $270. But those are lower grade as they've identified them. I can't remember if I looked on eBay, but I know my comic shop had at least 1, maybe 2 copies, but both, I want to call them lower grade, but not 9/8.
Like they were already graded, or that's their estimate grade for them?
They estimate the grades.
I would still buy it then.
Yeah.
I've bought 8.0 books from them and got 9/8 with no press.
Yeah, no, I can see that with like obscure books. If you're sitting on a high value book, and you're undergrading it, like it seems stupid when you could charge. If you thought it was a 9.6, you could probably charge twice the price as a 9.2. But the line work on this is really freaking good, man. If you look at this, it's really, really well done.
Damn, I'm a sucker for raw pencils.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
This looks like Finch's older work. Like,
you think he drew this like back in the 2000s and just sat on it for 20 years?
It has newer characters on it, though.
I mean, Well, who?
But isn't that girl on the far right next to Destro? Isn't she newer?
Because I don't think that's the Baroness.
No,
That's the blonde chick, the new blonde chick.
Yeah, so she's.
I
Like
don't know, but like this looks like older David Finch.
Yes.
Yes, like this is his style. Maybe he just said, he just went back to that style for this.
Or I don't want to I'm not trying to start shit. Like, maybe he fucking drew it when they asked him to draw it, and they paid him. But
I mean,
like this guy's been around. You go, G.I. Joe, shit, I got some around here. Oh, that'd be $10,000.
Well, I mean, because it's also his penciling too, right? That typically doesn't change for artists. It's when they introduce the colors.
It does. Well, the artists get better and their art changes a little bit. This looks like early 2000 Finch. This looks like shit that he did.
Wait, are you saying earlier Finch is better than the newer stuff?
Man, I like a lot of early Finch stuff, man.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that statement. But I mean, typically, when I see a lot of digital artists, their pencil work doesn't really change that drastically over time. And it's usually the digital part, whenever they color in stuff, that gets
I'm just saying,
out.
If they do it that way, but artists like Adam Hughes, early Adam Hughes versus Adam Hughes now, early Campbell versus Campbell now.
I think all artists have their their era where they're producing their best work.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it comes out of the gate doing it. Some people take a few years, but they have a window where they're just killing it, and then
and that's what everyone associates that artist with that.
Yeah, I just think
I think artists they're good, and then once they get good, then they take some liberties and take some risks. Right? There's a 5-year window of that, and then you say, okay, I'm going to show you what I really got, and then you see them at the height of their powers, and then they get older.
Yeah, at some point typically they make enough money. They mail in the pages. They don't give a shit the way they used to. It's just.
How dare you talk about Frank Miller that way?
Oh, that motherfucker!
I'm not naming
20
names.
years ago.
I'm not naming any names. But,
I'm trying to get sued by an artist. All right,
so
I can beat him in court.
I would like to shake your hand.
Oh, I fucking love this book, bro.
Yeah, man.
I love every variant in this fucking run, dude.
This run was a great collectible run.
I wish I didn't put this up.
and Punisher feels like they're starting to get a little bit more love. It's got a new series coming out in Marvel.
Yeah.
Bernthal vocally saying this character needs to be treated the right way. Getting a special on Disney Plus, and this is just a great Frank Castle cover.
Bro, we were talking about Delotto last night, and this is when Gabriel Delotto was Gabriel Delotto.
Yeah, man.
And the last couple of covers, he released a new cover. I forgot but it looks like Gabriel Delotto is back. This is the type of shit that made him popping off like Mark Spears. You know what I mean?
His recent what was it, the Daredevil book they did recently?
Yes, that's what we were talking about that last night. And this is why everybody gravitated this stuff, the Winter Soldier stuff that he did. I mean, but yeah.
No, he's been killing it. Again, which is great to see. But these are all pretty collectible. There's the Winter Soldier in this run that's also collectible. This,
oh yeah,
this is a lot of the Punisher classic covers are earlier. Zek did a bunch of great ones, but this one just feels timeless.
I have this
that the trade, the way this book is done. I mean, the background. It just, man, this is this book is one of my favorites. I mean, and nobody ever talks about it.
Well, we're talking about it tonight, Joe. So, man,
Yeah, let's just look at it and leave it on here for a while. Let's just.
Now, this is the tattoo that you're going to get right on your forearm.
No, man.
I'm saying I got this book.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and it doesn't go for anything.
I mean, 220 as in a 9.8 is not terrible. It's not like anything to pump your chest about, but it's not bad.
It should go.
But yes, it should go. It feels like it should go for more. It feels
yeah.
like it should go for more.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I never remembered any original Sin books going for like exceptionally crazy.
Oh, man.
You had the Gamora, which does all right. The Winter Soldier has sold, right? There's a few of them that do all right.
Pull up the original Sin variants at Yee. Do you have time?
There's a lot, dude. If you go down that run, because there's like original Sin, like you know.
Let's see if I can find some.
Oh, that's
5.2.
Yeah. Never mind.
Let's talk about this book since it's the last one, and then I'll see if I can pull up something.
I can't remember if we ever talked about this book. I feel like we probably have at one point, but whatever. It deserves talking about again. Alex Maleev, like when I started getting back into book comics after college, like I loved his stuff. I got to meet him. I bought some OA from him back in, which was really tough to get because he was doing a lot of digital work back in the early 2000s. And anyways, I have always loved this Mystique cover. Really good looking. It's 1 in 25. Doesn't go for really that much, but it feels like it should go for more.
Oh yeah, it looks expensive, man.
$76 back in 22, May of 22 for a 9.8.
Damn.
Only 49 on the census. It's the kind of book I'll grab all the time for the right price.
Okay, so you remember number 3? It was the first appearance of a character. I forget the name.
Honey Badger.
No,
that's all new Wolverine.
Okay,
damn. But it was the first appearance of a character. But I mean that spec is long dead. But I believe this was the first cameo appearance of that character.
Right. And was number 3, there was was it the 125 and number 3?
Yep.
Was the Gerard Perel.
Yeah.
That book is fucking badass too. I know we've talked about that book before.
Is it one of Wolverine's many children?
No, it was X23 on it. Yeah, well, it was X23 on it. But it was a mostly white cover, but she looks badass in it.
All right. And that was our last book. And then hold on, let me remove this. Boom. All right. Sorry, I'm not using cover price, but comics.org. I like how they have their layout to look at a bunch of books all at once instead of having to click through each different title and going back and forth like Brian does. So here are all the different covers.
Yeah, there's so many good ones in this.
So this is issue 1, and then you can
there's a
see
delotto.
Yeah, the Scotty Young is cool.
That Deadpool was tough.
Oh, I can't remember if I have this Hastings one.
Oh, I don't have that. Son of a bitch. I forgot
have
about that book, man.
Yep.
Now I'm going to be on the hunt for that.
Yeah.
Damn, I should have gotten to Dallas. Oh, look at the T'Challa.
Yeah, look at the T'Challa, man.
Yeah.
Super cool. Oh, there you go. You like that Stephanie Hans there, Ben? The Black Widow, bro?
Yeah.
That's cool, Hans. With the
I think we've talked about that book before. All those 1 in 10s, none of them go for anything, but they're pretty cool.
What's up with the eyeball, though?
I mean, that was the whole thing in the story, like that.
Yeah, their backstory, their original sin.
Hey. It kind
of that Hulk and Iron Man. I remember that book was hot for a while and then it just cooled off.
Yeah, I mean that Iron Man cover with Hulk reflection is badass. There's so many to go through because they do, if you look all through all the original sins, and then they do like variant numbering, 5.1, 5.2.
Oh, there you go. Go back up, E. The delotto right there. Yeah. Mama.
That's Emma Frost, right?
Yeah.
Why she look like a vampire?
I don't know,
She's
but
wearing
Her
magic
sins, man,
clothes.
they're coming out.
Her sin is that she's wearing magic's clothes. How many issues does this have? All right, we're almost done.
No, there's a lot, man.
Yeah. Well, now we can't talk about any more original sin books. Thanks, Joe.
I mean, that's Bianchi right there, right?
yeah.
I love that book.
There you go. There's that Ant-Man, the delotto. That's one of my favorite books too, man.
I've never seen that one.
It's a tough book, man. It's scarce. I mean, they're out there, man, but and then of course
The Gamora.
the Gamora. I've got that in an Italian version too.
Yeah, I found that one digging not that long ago. I've got the Winter Soldier too.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, man, these books are fun, man. But
Yeah.
all right, I think that is it for tonight. All right.
Yep. So big shout out to Cover Price. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. You can also use the code Nirvana over at birdcitycomics.com. Yep. And
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
Boom. All right. Hot book alert.
Sunday.
Nice.
I should be on. I was supposed to be on last Sunday, the long weekend, and then family snuck into town, and they taken my room up here, so I had to miss it. But looking forward to this Sunday.
They was like, surprise.
Oh man.
Random excuse here. So no, I'm just checking. And then I will be on the House of Stein tomorrow with Joe. And then we'll see what happens on Saturday for Modern Comic Mayhem.
Maybe Saturday. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see for me. You know, depending. Let's see what kind of drama.
Damn.
Alrighty.
Is that a snort?
I'm gonna dip out. My tattoo's starting to itch, which means it's time to wash it.
I need to get some sleep. So
you're not going to bed as soon as this is like.
I'm lucky if I'm gonna make it downstairs, man.
All right.
Y'all take it easy. So later.
Peace.